That's a powerful and well-crafted story. It effectively captures Kareem's journey, the dynamics of bullying and prejudice, the consequences of standing up for oneself, and the complex path towards finding a place. Here's a breakdown of why it resonates. Strengths of the story. Compelling protagonist. Kareem is immediately sympathetic. His quiet dignity, awareness, and past experiences, moving invisible, make him relatable. His restraint, skill, and internal conflict are well portrayed. Authentic setting and dynamics. The depiction of Millstone High, the cliques, the superficiality, the casual cruelty, the herd mentality, and the underlying prejudices, feels real. Brock embodies the entitled bully whose ego can't handle being ignored. Nuanced conflict. The conflict isn't just physical. It's about perception, prejudice, reputation, and the systemic tendency to blame the victim, especially when they are different and defend themselves effectively. The escalation from petty harassment to the confrontation is believable. Thematic depth. It tackles significant themes. Prejudice and stereotyping. Kareem is judged based on his background, appearance, and quiet demeanor. The hood, assumptions, and labeling are central. Self-defense versus aggression. The core tension. Kareem's actions were defensive and controlled, yet he's perceived as the aggressor. The story questions zero tolerance, policies that punish the defender. The power of silence and voice. Kareem's initial silence is both a shield and a provocation. Finding his true voice, both literally in the assembly and through his actions, is his arc. Consequences of truth. Delaney's bravery highlights the cost of bystander silence and the power of truth, even when it comes late. The weight of survival. Kareem's victory leaves him isolated and labeled, showcasing the emotional burden of defending oneself in an unfair system. Satisfying character arcs. Kareem moves from moving invisible to being seen, albeit fearfully, to finally defining himself on his own terms through his speech and the final interaction. Reggie, a grounding force, providing wisdom, support, and context. His moving invisible and strength scares the weak lines are pivotal. Delaney represents the potential for courage and change within the system. Her action, though delayed, is crucial. Brock and company. Their humiliation and subsequent retreat/rumor-mongering show the fragility of their perceived power. Strong pacing and detail. The story unfolds at a good pace, building tension effectively. Details like the worn backpack, the gym smell, the specific nature of the harassment, and the description of the fight make it vivid. Impactful ending. Kareem's assembly speech is the perfect culmination. He claims his narrative. The final scene with a younger kid brings it full circle, showing growth and the potential for positive influence. The closing line is poignant. Key moments that land. The fight scene, the efficiency and restraint Kareem shows, contrasted with the bully's panic, is brilliantly described. Dropped his elbow into Brock's ribs with just enough pressure. The hearing and Langford's bias. Langford's who finishes it line and Kareem's sharp retort. Maybe you should talk to the ones who never tried to stop it. Expose the systemic flaw. Reggie's wisdom. His insights about silence, strength, and the cost of exposing weakness are core to understanding the story's themes. Delaney's confession. Her admission of fear and guilt adds depth and is the turning point for the hearing. Kareem's speech. It's the emotional and thematic climax. His line. If the only story you know about me is the one someone else told, then you never knew me at all, is powerful. The final lesson. Stand tall even when it feels easier to shrink, perfectly encapsulates Kareem's journey and the story's message. Overall impression. This is more than just a bully gets beaten story. It's a nuanced exploration of identity, prejudice, the complexities of self-defense, the power of narrative, and the courage it takes to stand tall in a world that tries to push you down. Kareem's quiet resilience and ultimate assertion of his own story are deeply compelling. The writing is engaging, the characters feel real, and the themes resonate strongly. Regarding the ending line, sometimes the hardest battles aren't the ones with fists, but the ones where you're forced to prove you belong in a world that keeps pushing you out. This line perfectly summarizes Kareem's struggle. The physical confrontation was brief, The battle against prejudice, misunderstanding, systemic bias, and the isolation that followed was the true challenge. His fight was to simply be and belong without having to constantly justify his existence or defend his right to safety. The story effectively shows that proving you belong shouldn't be a battle forced upon someone in the first place.